out of the middle. How about that? Harper Banfield averaging 18.5 disposals in league footy from his couple games for the West Coast Eagles. And hit up a target and then sent it forward. Brought Robert Farmer to hit the scoreboard. South Fremantle won both the games between these sides in the home and away season. Get a little bit of redemption from last year's grand final loss, but that doesn't matter heading into a final series. And we get back in the middle. Van Rooyen back into the Colts lineup. And Braun brought straight to ground. Foster and Van Rooyen, as it was last year in the ruck. Handball comes out. Here's Collins. And applying his trade in the PSA for Trinity. Comes out now to Williams. Williams inside ball. Couldn't quite stick the mark there, could Cooper Edwards. Comes out now, hand pass there. Over the top from Tigers. Going again now. Claremont on the far side. Over the top. Chaos footy. Banfield coming one way. Godwin coming in another. And will just be settled for a stoppage. Van Rooyen tries to rip out of the ruck. Foster's right with him though. South Fremantle yet to get a disposal, but they will now. Sidestepping Godwin. Not the best ball off the boot. Up towards half forward. Attacking it there was Dennis. Comes down and wrapping up is Wilson for South Fremantle. Van Rooyen, Stannard's there for the Bulldogs, trying to keep his feet. And Claremont just settling. Banfield at the bottom of that pack. No doubt his draft stocks have risen in the last month or two. The back of the 18s championships and then those couple of games for the Eagles WAFL. He was amongst their best players in just a couple of games. Off a standing step, go the Tigers, trying to hold front position. They're going to ground. And Freight could have had a case there for a hold. You could hear from the sidelines, Banfield over the top. Tracking it for the Tigers. Hewitt. And up towards half forward. Here come the Tigers again, looking for their second. Inboard. Sheldrick. Inside 50. Just needed a bit more on it for his leading forward, but it stays in the fit of play. Collins just dropped it for a moment around the corner. Got some good purchase on in the end and gets the luck of the draw with the bounce as well. So it's the inclusions for the Tigers that are doing a bulk of the work early. And Kai Collins, his first game since round 14, which happened to be against South Fremantle as well. Striking in the first quarter. It was the Bulldogs in round 14 who did the work early, but the Tigers looking to make amends here in the all-important qualifying final. Coming off the bye last week as well, Claremont's extra run of the legs perhaps. They lost their round 19 game to Subiaco as well by 8 points down in Albany. So it tasted a win a few weeks since the Swan Districts game in round 18. Van Rooyen. And Claremont finishing third on the ladder, but with their league side finishing second, they do have the home advantage here despite South Fremantle finishing second. Interesting how it works in the EGT WAFL Colts and reserves competitions following the hosting rights from the league side of things. Van Rooyen wanted to find Banfield, picking up cleanly there. The Bulldogs around the corner. Maynard, first time he's getting involved here, pushed Ram underneath it, kept running, did Maynard, good composure shown, then back in board, taking the mark there. South Fremantle. deep inside 50, about as far as they've got it. They've got a player at the back who can take a run on the jump, and well done there by Hookham. He's back into the lineup for South Fremantle, one of 4 inclusions. Their leading goal kicker and 3rd in the competition. Missed around 20. But has kicked 26 goals for the year. Be 3rd behind Peel Thunder's Trent Robertson and Swan District's Cooper Dudfield. Kicked goals in his last 5 games of EGT WAFL Colts footy, just to settle the nerves for South Fremantle. And kicked their first at this qualifying final. It's through their main forward in Sam Hookham. So 6-point lead for the Tigers. Hookham gets the Bulldogs on the board, and we're back in the middle. Unkind bounce there for McAuliffe. Ripping it out there, Foster. Little win against his direct opponent in Van Rooyen. Claiming the free kick was Ram, and he'll get a free kick back into his hands. Hudson Ram, been playing very consistent footy for Scotch College in his first game since that round 14 game on this very ground in that 29-point list there. Comes out of the hands of the Tigers player. Whistle didn't blow, and it was Blakeney on that occasion who luck was on his side as we see Brooks go into the ruck, playing that forward ruck role for Claremont. Ram received it. In fact, it was Huxtable who received it from Banfield, and it will be out of bounds for a throw on the broadcast side. Eleven inclusions, as I said, for Claremont from their last game against Subiaco down in Albany. They've won 3 out of their last 5 games. Comes the way of Braun. He's been a key reason as to why. Over 20 disposals and a goal in that game as well. Hewitt, his left foot is a good one there for Collins. Getting involved early. Wanted to find Farmer, saying leave it to me was Key. Key usually playing down back. Smothered off the boot. Bulldogs look to come the other way. Here's Bush Jones in a one-on-one with Prentice. Good support there from Brown. And Prentice can use the far side to his advantage. Good separation there from Key. Good prospect he is for 2027, bottom major. Another one of these players who's been playing a lot of his time at Hale in the PSA. Sidestepping Luau Gatlook inside 50 for the Tigers. Over the head, here's Farmer. Already kicked one. He's dangerous when the ball gets to ground level. As too is the co-captain and Gallagher. Had a bit more time than he realised, and attacking it there well was Graham, who has a big job today in the back half for South Fremantle. Son of Jamie. We'll have a boundary throw in. Key in the ruck work, so it's the pinch hitters going up against Foster for the time being. There is a whistle, and it's going to go the way of the defensive side. South Fremantle just missing out on the minor premiership through percentage. They were beaten comprehensively by East Fremantle in round 19, but apart from that, they've won 4 of their last 5 games, including a massive 125-point win against Peel Thunder last week, so they couldn't have had better form last week coming into today, scoring over 150 points themselves as we see the ball go out of bounds. Claremont, of course, looking to do the four-peat in the EGT WAFL Colts. Hasn't been done since the 90s. Fremantle looking for their first flag in 14 years. Grand final last year, but Matt Rogers' side looking to go one better. Putalano inside to Braun. He's on his left side, which favoured him. Just took an extra moment to assess his options. Then fighting him from the side was Giltro. And it was Clucas. In fact, it was Godwin who didn't quite realise that Giltro was right there. Stoppage right on the 50. Handball over the top. Through the hands there of Douglas. Didn't give up with a tackle though, Vanderhook. Braun, right place, right time. Comes around there to Blacksall. And inside 50 go the Tigers. And it's a goal. All they had to do was shepherd it through. And guess who? It looks like it could be Collins once again from well outside 50. Plenty of purchase on it in the end. You thought that the last players there on the line of defence might have had to have a tussle, but in the end, Claremont just had to shepherd it through and they go out to 12 points once again. Guy Collins having a first quarter to remember. 2 goals, 4 disposals, so 50% of his possessions have been hitting the scoreboard. Bush Jones giving Foster a chop out. Comes down the way now of Braun. Braun again, another kick next to his name. Don't forget that he broke the all-time record for disposals in a Colts game. He only played to get 50 earlier in the year against Perth. And of course, a couple of state 18s games at the back end of the championships off the back of it as well. Not a state draft combine invite, but potentially one late, depending on how his final series can go. Comes down the way of Clucas, who just has to be held up for the stoppage again. Just a little bit of a fumble there from Freight. Sheldrick, maybe unlucky not to be rewarded. Bush Jones, he's got limited time on his side, and the Bulldogs are feeling the full brunt of this pressure from the Claremont Colts. They're a new look outfit, many stars left, right and centre, and Huxtable afforded the luxury to run inside 50. Wynn took a fair piece of it. Brooks was down there for the Tigers. Have to be quick with it. Graham just got the kick in the nick of time, and co-captain McAuliffe takes the mark. "23 disposals last week in that 125-point win for Jack McAuliffe. He's 1 of 6 Bulldogs out there from last year's grand final, so a lot of turnover. 7 premiership players out there for Claremont from last year's grand final, so majority of both these sides new players this year. Andrew throwing just in front of us. 10 minutes to play in this first quarter. 12-point lead for the Tigers. They finished 3rd last year and went all the way, and they do it again this year. Blacksall just has to settle for the tackle there off McAuliffe. He's a tackling machine. We've got the handball out. Putalano, bit of a tumbling ball. Those are the most unpredictable at times. Edwards' handball just misfired his target. Went to ground, but got another handball next to his name. Fresh area there from Van Rooyen. Handball comes out. Huxtable might just want the boundary line, and he does. He's seen over there by the Dogs. And Howard specifically. You hear the South Fremantle faithful calling for a hold there. Bush Jones wasn't to be. Van Rooyen sends it inside 50 players coming from both directions. Graham kept his cool but lost his footing at a critical time. Goes back and chipping ball there for the Bulldogs. At least they put it forward. Off the volley. Here's Hayden. Can rip a game apart to say the least. They're just having a few fumbles at the moment. Hayden on his left boot, son of Roger Hayden. Fremantle Dockers. Former player and defender around the corner, Putalano. Hard ball to read. Dewy conditions here with an 8:50 a.m. kickoff, and Trovarello lets Hammond know all about it at ground level. Anything to get it moving from McAuliffe. Clokus, his handball back out. Of course, Subiaco and West Perth doing battle tomorrow. Fremantle Community Bank Oval. The winner of that to versus the loser of this. Williams getting creative off the deck, attacking it very well there. Was Hedge, his first game since round 19, and players saying they dragged it in, umpire disagreeing. Van Rooyen, Huxtable. Around the corner, foot race is on. Graham reads it best. Does he want to turn back into his left? He sure does. And nice little kick there. Bulldogs just looking to get a bit of breathing space. And Parsons' kick misfired. Blacksall, can he pick it up? Not quite. Right into the heart of the ground. McAuliffe, but has to brace himself. A bit of work being happened here around the outskirts of Ruo Fitness Stadium. Obstruction and the like. Banfield trying to muscle his way through. Did well to keep the ball moving. Players diving on top of it, and umpire says, I'll have it. Good crowd here at Ruo Fitness Stadium. Claremont Perth, the league game, and the reserves, it's East Perth and Perth doing battle. Free kick the way of Van Rooyen. Couple of league games next to his name. There's going to be a 50-metre penalty for an infringement, so not needed from South Fremantle. Clumsy there, and Van Rooyen, do you think this would be a certain goal for the Tigers' big man? Been playing a mix of reserves and league footy. Third Van Rooyen to come through at Claremont, looking to be the second Van Rooyen to be drafted at season's end. Did not deviate off the boot, and as the quarter-time break approaches, it's Claremont who very much have this game in their hands. Point lead, the Tigers. 4-point loss they had in round 3, and 29-point loss they had in round 14. Stannard tries to lower his eyes. Going in the direction there of Mallard. Well done there by Maynard. Going to be a big responsibility for him as he spends more time in the midfield. And seen out of bounds by the Tigers' back half. Ball thrown in. Van Rooyen, the last goal kicker. Oh, Wilson. Again, another one playing more midfield time. State 18's representative. And they're just held up here. Laxall. See him back out there. Missed a large chunk of footy this year. And Banfield's going to get a free kick, you'd think. In fact, it's going to come the way of Clokus. His first goal. Colts footy back in round 14. Inside 50, can they get one just to wrestle back, a bit of momentum heading into the first break. Van Rooyen, his kick went backwards. If anything, Hookham around the corner. Slots it. It's a one-man band at the moment for South Fremantle. Sam Hookham, you wouldn't have known he missed last week. Around the corner. And he's kicked both the Bulldogs majors here in this qualifying final so far. Bounced off his chest there. Wasn't 15 whatsoever. And showing that he can do it in general play as well as when he takes marks. Great presence is Sam Hookham, and kicks goal number 28 for the year. So it could very much end this season being the leading goal kicker in terms of all up. Of course, home and away season belonged to Trent Robertson of Peel Thunder. But he's got 30 and beyond in his sights. And a little bit more confidence the way of the Bulldogs. With a couple of minutes on the clock. Lucas slung in the 360. In fact, it was Douglas, the number 4 for South Fremantle. Dangerous tackle. Short ball. Finds Foster. 20 plus disposals. 2 goals last week for him. Sends it inside 50, running and jump there. Brown, Huxtable wants to turn back inside. Portolano. Bulldogs players will plead for a free kick, not to be just a misfired target. Claremont leading by 2 goals. Accurate kicking from both teams at the moment. We haven't had a behind yet. So teams making the most of their opportunity when they have had shots. Here the calls have dropped it. No pride deemed. Lucas, strong in the contest. Outside of the boots. Smothered off the boot there from Bush Jones, who was the kicker. 12-point lead for Claremont may not be the worst result from here. They can hold on. Maynard, read it best. Cam Maynard off a standing step. Not plenty on it, but knocking it through the Tigers' defence. So there is that first behind of the day. Under a minute remaining is Dennis. No unnecessary risk, you think, from him. He does look down the middle, though. Interesting decision. Puts a lot of trust there in Tom Brown. And why would you blame him? He was over to Banfield, run and carry, playing in front of the Bulldogs, and risk versus reward, although it's turned over. Intercepting in the air, then losing his footing was Braun, slapping it out, doing the 1%ers. Clokus, here's Vanderhook, he got a high one, not quite. 9 disposals for Harper Banfield, leading possession getter on the ground. Cast your mind back a year ago. His brother, Charlie, who had 33 disposals, a couple of goals, and the Tigers lost in this very according game. Of course, they went on to do it the harder way to make a grand final. And this kick will have to be on the boot quickly from Hayden. They need a mark. Siren's going to say anything to beat them. And just before it gets to ground level, they would have scored a goal. That'll be frustrating for the Bulldogs. An extra second or two, they would have got it back down to under a goal. But it's not to be. The Tigers leading 4 goals straight to 2-1-13. EGT WAFL Colts qualifying final. The 2 grand finalists of last year, who will go on to play East Fremantle in next week's semi-final, and who will go on to have to do it the hard way against the winner of Subiaco and West Perth tomorrow. We'll find out. 3 big quarters left to come, live on the WAFL official YouTube channel here from Rebo Fitness Stadium. It's the Tigers, the game in their hands in this first quarter. Back shortly.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game, because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
An 11-point lead for Claremont at quarter time here. The qualifying final of the EGT WAFL Colts live from Rebo Fitness Stadium. And Claremont got off to a hot start early. 2 goals to Kai Collins, Robert Farmer, 1 disposal, 1 goal. Benji Van Rooyen, a goal next to his name. While Sam Hockham has kicked both goals for South Fremantle so far up forward after missing the round 20 game. That 125-point win over Pure Thunder last week. Harper Banfield, Noel Braun, both up to 9 disposals. Shouldn't be too surprised to start 18 players there. Banfield featuring in the Colts for the first time since round 3. Of course, we know that under 18s championships games count as eligibility to WAFL Colts finals. So he didn't play enough in terms of Colts for the 4, but plying his trade at the back end for the West Coast Eagles in the league lineup and comes back into the lineup. South Fremantle, a bit fumbly in that opening term, but a couple of goals just to settle the nerves a little bit. Can be a daunting prospect coming here to Rebo Fitness Stadium, where they won back in around 14, but a very different looking Claremont lineup. 11 ins: Banfield, Blacksell, Brooks, Brown, Collins, Farmer, Hewitt, Key, Ram, Sheldrick and Van Rooyen. Very talented names there. 4 ins for the Bulldogs themselves though, including Hookham, who's kicked 2 goals, as I said. We get ourselves set for the second quarter. EGT WAFL Colts final series. Beautiful conditions here at Rebo Fitness Stadium. September, not too far away. And minor premiers East Fremantle await the winner of this one. Double chance for the loser. 61% possession in favour of Claremont as well. So you could argue they could be further in front, but they've made the most of their opportunity in front of goal. Back underway here, live on the WAFL official YouTube channel. Giltro, and passing off there to Banfield. Going to cause plenty of headaches. Huxtable on the outside. Doesn't waste any time. Sends it inside 50 in the direction there of Brooks at ground level. Key, can he keep his footing? Handball comes out. Farmer goes to ground. Got a handball back out. Gallagher, the co-captain, around the corner. Well done, Tigers. Leading by example is the skipper Gallagher. He's been doing it all year when he hasn't had the State 18 stars around him. And a bit of support, a bit of reward for effort there on the left of Sam Gallagher. Well done there by Farmer as well to get the handball out despite losing his footing. And as they start at the opening term, they get a goal in the opening minute. .21 disposals on this very ground, the round 14 loss to the Bulldogs. 21 disposals in their last game against Subiaco, as well as 8 tackles next to his name. Foster. Bulldogs wanting the quick reply. They might get it as well. Taking the mark is the man of the moment. Hookham wants to play on, wasting no time. And just drifting late there for South Fremantle. Got the distance easily though. Here's Dennis. Dennis out the back. Good body positioning from Tom Brown. His stock's rising as well. A lot of people starting to take notice on the other side of the country about Tom Brown. Been flying under the radar, as is this man, Graham. Wants to stretch and go on the far side. Hedge, inside 50. Mark drop there by Coots. But got a few fingertips to it in the end to save it going out of bounds on the full. See, Nathan going to the right, tried to grab it out. Tigers defence will have memories of him. 3 goals in the opening quarter, their last matchup. Here he is again. Got the handball out. Around the corner went Hunt. Hunt to a dangerous position. There's a one-on-one. Hookham's out the back. And they're going to kick a goal. Just in the field of play. Well done there by Howard to read it best. And he kicks the goal from point-blank range. As you can see, they're just getting separation on Collins. Just had to gather cleanly and kick right on the line. Back to a 10-point game. Made his debut back in round 7. And his first goal since round 9. What a time for it as well for South Fremantle. Howard. Here's Braun. Gathering cleanly. Could almost go for goal himself here, but wants to hit up a target in the form of Key, who's playing a lot of time forward. And is this a free kick? Not quite. Large chunk of the Claremont contingent. See on that far side, well supported here, right around the ground, the Tigers. Around the corner. Might have been Huxtable to have a quick fire shot on goal there, as it was at quarter time. 11-point lead. Graham wastes no time. Wants to come broadcast side. Standing in the hole was Williams. Bit too much over his head. Tracking it there well was Hewitt. Hewitt got the handball out to Gallagher. Gallagher now to Banfield. Banfield combines with Edwards inside 50. Braun, can he float in? Not quite. Graham just lost it there, almost threw it out in the end. Blakeney around the corner, he swoops in. They'd make you pay whenever they get a chance in a split second to the Tigers. And Noah Blakeney, that is no different. off the outside of the boot. And the Tigers just controlling the tempo of this one in terms of the scoreboard. Anytime South Fremantle seem to get back, it's a quick reply or thereabouts for the Tigers, and a 17-point lead, game high for them. Back in the middle, Van Rooyen starting to have a big impact on this game. Banfield, can he pick up cleanly? It was the right idea in mind. Got it out there, selling the dummy. Farmer just has to get back on his right boot. Does Robbie Farmer? Can he sneak this home? Not quite, a bit too much to the right. Van Rooyen up to 17 hitouts and 8 disposals, as well as that goal that he kicked the first quarter. So big job for Foster and Bush Jones, who only have the 5 disposals between them. Another kick out for Graham. Would like a lot less of them at the moment. Foster sort of went half-hearted in the end. Vanderhook. 36 disposals in round 3 for Chase Vanderhook, 25 in round 14. The 2 matchups against Claremont, second in the competition for disposals behind West Perth captain Luca Boxer. Co-captain, still in his 17th year, Chase Vanderhook. Big final series looms for him. Collins hacks it on the boot. Down there is Farmer. He's outsized here, and that was evident, the mark taken by Freight. And they get a bit of ball movement their way. Stannard, another prime ball mover for South Fremantle. Goes short to Foster. Foster sweeping handball. Needed to execute there. On the ground. Lucas. And you can hear the applause there for Harry Brooks. Just to deny any chance of the Bulldogs going forward. Lucas. He does send it forward. Big punch there from Prentice. He'll get it back on the outside of the boot, put it in the path of Williams to go underneath. It was an awkward one for him to judge, going back with the fly. And it'll be Lasso brought back in by Graham. His short ball. Vanderhook. On the half-forward flank. Have to see on the far side of there with a shadow. Looks like Wilson though. His short ball, can they honour a lead? They've got players on the last line of defence. Brown has to be measured, kept his cool. Low handball. And screaming for it now. Hewitt. He's held up though by Hayden. Brooks doing anything he can at the moment. Douglas. Vanderhook, now Foster, expected to get on the boot sometime soon, trying to turn their opponent inside out. The pressure came from Williams and that affected the kick. Just a hug in the field of play. Eventually Dennis sees it out. So on just about 10 minutes gone in this second term, 18-point lead for the Tigers, winning this quarter by 7 points. Ram, Banfield, not the kindest bounce, but Upper Banfield makes it work. Little tussle there between Foster and his direct opponent, Godwin. Hand pass there, misfiring Hayden. It's been a bit of a story of the Bulldogs' morning so far. Here come the Tigers looking to capitalise once more. Low ball, foot race is on, it's Key and Luar Gutluk, 2 big men, both go to ground. Luar Gutluk does well, gets back to his feet. He's going to use the boundary line to his friend there, and Key pleads his case for a free kick. And Luar Gutluk, who very versatile for the South Fremantle outfit, can play ruck, back, forward, take your pick. Foster. Well done there by Farmer. He gave to a man who had a player on him pretty much the whole way though. Farmer again looms. Banfield. What's the dangerous position? Blakeney and Graham. Can he turn his opponent inside out? Not quite. Claremont's non-playing players out there. Unusually, the reserves didn't make finals this year, which is very, very unlike Claremont, usually finishing top of the ladder or thereabouts, making the grand final last year, despite not winning it, but they missed out this year. Colts and League, the finals though, both having the double chance. Brooks looked like he had his arm held there. A bit too obvious for the umpire to miss. Premier forward in the PSA competition this year for Christchurch. Well done there by Hammond over Gallagher. And then down the line, Maynard didn't realise he might have had to flown for that one. Brooks, his presence in the air, strongly felt by those around him. Caresses the ball nicely for Blakeney. Farmer left him for it. Might be a bit beyond his reach here. Already kicked one in this quarter as Blakeney. The short ball, he's not going to go for that. Just going to put it to the top of the goal square. Down there, Farmer and punching it through the Bulldogs. So lead ever so slightly enhancing to, I say, the visitors because they're third on the ladder, but the Tigers here at home in this qualifying final of the EGT WAFL Colts. Two grand finalists from last year. Claremont taking it out for a third year in a row. And the little man there, Collins, takes the mark. And that'll be down the line there, not needed by Howard. And they'll get stuck into him. Brown, you won't want to give away free kick the other way, but not needed there by the number 21 for South Fremantle. It'll fall down the ground to Blakeney, who'll get another shot next to his name. You can see here on the replay, all four being physical, but just late off the ball there. And Claremont players let him know all about it. He'll get a bit of attention from the medical team here at Robo Fitness Stadium. 2 goals for Collins, so hopefully he's okay to continue. Player has been reported for South Fremantle, Howard, so things in a way going bad to worse for South Fremantle, and this kick from Blakeney coming up to get it out to beyond 4 goals. So, Noah Blakeney for his second. Also kicked the goal in around 14. Being South Fremantle. Sneaks it home. Claremont have a firm grip of this one in the first half. They are looking like a side who is well and truly on their way to a 4-peat, albeit very early still in this final series, first week, but a 25-point lead for them. And they're making the most of their opportunities as well, which Coach Mark Cossum, a new coach this year, taking over from Ricky Smith, will be delighted with. Not too often coach moves on after a premiership, but Ricky Smith Handing over the reins to Mark Cossum, two-time premiership coach Ricky Smith, winning in 24 and 25. $25-point lead for the Tigers. They're not done yet as well. Braun trying to read it best off the hit out. Douglas, handball, left a little bit to be desired. Collins, he's back on his feet, so good to see he's okay after that hit that he received, setting up that last goal to Blakeney. Braun. Fremantle pleading for ball. Bush Jones going back with the flight. Plenty of courage shown in the mark taken by the Tigers. They bring it just in front of us here, broadcast side. Collins. 7 disposals next to his name. Here's Sheldrick. Can he draw the player over the top? Went inboard. Eventually got it there. Trovarello can have a shot here. Wants to do the team thing. They're playing selfless footy at the moment, are the Tigers. And it will fall back into the hands of Blakeney once more. Could have had a shot there. Would have been forgiven for Trovarello, but saw a better player from pretty much the exact position that he had that last shot from. Blakeney can go back and try and get back-to-back goals next to his name, and his third of the quarter. Playing with a lot of spirit at the moment. That one a bit too much to the right though. Under siege at the moment, South Fremantle. Mark taken by Parsons. Parsons on the far side. Back in board. Banfield has to be quick with it. Put it in the path there of Blackstall. Having other ideas was Godwin. Running at it full steam. Giltro, Trovarello. He's keen to keep it moving as well. Vanderhook has to be careful. Goes to Stanner. Those two combining many a times in this EGT WAFL Colts season. Caught on the wrong side. Maynard, can he sidestep an opponent? Didn't want to. Outside of the boots, good there. And in a stationary position was Nathan. Nathan's ball. Running at it, unlucky not to receive a free kick, and that should be caught holding the ball. Ferocious stuff there by Maynard. Coming back into the Colts team after playing a couple of league games for South Fremantle. They find themselves in the elimination final tomorrow in the league setup. They want to find Coote out the back. They couldn't do that and taking the mark. Tigers. Through Dennis. Dennis often plays that down defender role and gives it over to one of his other fellow defenders in Brown. Brown on the non-preferred. Trovarello could have given it there to Sheldrick, ignored that, but put it in the path this time of Banfield. Banfield up towards centre half forward. Wilson couldn't quite pick it up, nor could his opponent Gallagher. Didn't get the purchase he was after with the handball. Godwin. And now Bush Jones. Stannard over the top. The familiar suspects combining. Freight. Sweeping handball now. Hunt has to be quick with it. Just took an extra step or two to make sure of it. And Maynard could have been on there. But couldn't quite be picked up by the man who has 2 out of their 3 goals, and Sam Hookham. 5.5 minutes remaining in the second term. Qualifying final of the EGT WAFL Colts. Appreciate your company here on the WAFL Official Live YouTube channel. Blacksall, Van Rooyen. Neither team really grabbing it there, just leaving it for the other. And a free kick in the way of South Fremantle. Here's Mallard. Kicked 4 Colts goals this year, both of them coming against Claremont. 2 on each occasion in round 3 and round 14. Part of Scotch College Alco Cup success in the PSA competition this year. Would be a monster kick here from Jarrah Mallard, but as I said, all his Colts goals in his career have been against the Tigers. Arcs out. Not going to trouble the scoring. Up towards the top of the square though. Where are the Crummers? Hewitt, Dennis. Did he get a push as he kicked it? He did, but not enough to be a free kick. Going back with a flight. Courage shown on all ends. And a mark taken. Superb stuff from Grimes. Grimes down the line. There are the tall timber through the hands of Bush Jones. Have a boundary throw in. So a handy lead, you'd think, coming up here for Claremont. Just about a matter of what that lead is heading into the main break. It's Fremantle who knocked them off at this ground last year in the qualifying final. And a holding free kick the way of Bush Jones. Little win over Van Rooyen. Here's low ball, good mark taken out in front. Just gave the defence no chance whatsoever, keeping it low enough, but in a position to mark. And it'll be Mallard, who was tempted to go short there to Maynard, but not quite on the same page. Does he want to set himself again? He wants to go short eventually there. Nathan at full stretch. They've got the extra number. Pozzolano sees it out. And there's a contingent of South people as well on the fence, so not just the Tigers supporting their fellow teammates. Van Rooyen and Nathan over the shoulder almost, won't be the required 15. Vanderhook in there with Braun, almost ripped his jumper over his head. South Fremantle wanting to lock it in, no matter how long it takes to get another one. Their fourth is their pursuit in this second term, to get it back under that 4-goal margin. Lucas outside of the boot. Tigers have the numbers. That's evident with Brown winning it out. Well done there. He has to be quick with it, Van Rooyen. Was hunted down. Douglas. Vanderhook sidestepping around. Chase Vanderhook. Where are the numbers for South Fremantle? Had to come late. Textbook crowing there from Maynard. That's what he does in the celebration towards the fence of South Fremantle players. You don't often see that in the Colts, but you love to see it as well. Thought he might have been doing a backflip there, but salutes his supporters that have made the trip here to Remo Fitness Stadium. And high fives all around for the number one for South Fremantle, coming back from the league lineup in recent weeks. And his energy is infectious for not only the group, but the supporter base here at Remo Fitness Stadium. That's why there's a lot of eyes watching Cam Maynard from an AFL draft perspective. National Combine invite coming up for him. And he burst onto the scene in last year's grand final, albeit in that loss last year. So much needed for South Fremantle. There's a minute left on the clock. They don't want to give up a goal though. Bit of a double-edged sword perhaps. The ball goes back to the middle. Do they want to take advantage? It was a very delayed whistle, so that means it will come back. No advantage taken. Less than a minute, you can hear them yelling out from the sidelines. Braun, run and carry on his left. Often lethal with it, and marking not quite in the end was Blacksall. Had for a long time in the end as Trovarello goes to ground, and South Fremantle a 20-point deficit at half-time, albeit down by 11. At the quarter-time break may not be the worst thing, but it's still Claremont in a commanding position. Can they get one out? You wouldn't rule it out, and you wouldn't rule it out if it's Harper Banfield. Well, a year after his brother Charlie took the Colts competition by the scruff of the neck in the qualifying final, could it be Harper to do one better and get a win for Claremont? Reading it best there And straight away on the boot, knowing there's not a lot of time left, that'll be a dagger into the heart of South Fremantle for all their hard work that they did to get it to 20 points. They've doubled the score here at halftime, have the Tigers. And Harper Banfield, his first outing in round 3, he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, 18 disposals and a goal at the halftime break. A class above at the moment for the Tigers. Still a half to play out, but they're one step closer perhaps to a matchup with East Fremantle next week. South Fremantle, they've got a lot of hefty lifting to do, but they've got a half up their sleeve to do it. Halftime here from Miro Fitness Stadium, EGT Colts qualifying final. It's the Tigers leading 8-4-52 to South Fremantle 4-2-26. We'll be back for the third quarter right after this from Miro Fitness Stadium.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game, because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown, waiting for a touch you say the day. Nothing could really take your place. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my charm. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my charm. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my charm. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my charm. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell if you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game, because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
Third quarter not too far away, and second half of this qualifying final of the EGT WAFL Colts. It's Claremont leading by 26 points, a late goal to Harper Banfield, meaning they have doubled South Fremantle's score at the moment. Banfield with 18 disposals and a goal. 7 more disposals than the next best, Noah Braun for Claremont, while Hudson Graham joins him on 11 disposals. As far as goal kickers are concerned for each side, Blakeney with 2, Collins with 2 for the Tigers. As I said, Banfield a goal next to his name, Robert Farmer, Sam Gallagher and Benji Van Rooyen, while for South Fremantle, Sam Hookham, they're only multiple goal kicking with 2. Howard with 1 next to his name, and Cam Maynard late in that second quarter. So half left to play out. Claremont have done this time and time again in the EGT WAFL Colts, aiming to win their 4th premiership in a row. South Fremantle, of course, made the grand final last year. Looking to go one step further. The loser of today will get a double chance against the winner of tomorrow's elimination final, Subiaco and West Perth, playing at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. And the winner of this one to go through first. The minor premier, East Fremantle, next week. Semi-final week. Appreciate your company on the WAFL official live YouTube channel. Live here from Railway Fitness Stadium. My name's Ethan Roth. And a big second half coming up for the Bulldogs if they can try and hold some momentum and get some back into their favour as well. It's not going to be easy. Bringing some Tigers out a bit with 11 wins. And also a bye next to their name in round 20. So they'll be extra fresh for the Claremont Football Club. The longer this one plays out. Players just making their way to their positions. Beautiful conditions here at Railway Fitness Stadium. No excuses in the second half for either side.
Yeah. This is as far as I can go.
So second half of the EGT WAFL Colts qualifying final. Claremont with a 26-point lead. Can they build on that? Will it be South Fremantle coming back with a fighting response? Vanderhook, good kick there from him in the hands now of Hayden. Can they be the ones to get off to a hot start? Claremont kicking goals in the first minute of both first and second quarters. Is it the Bulldogs' time to do that though? Hookham had a fair piece of it in the end. Putalano wanted to get back in board. Sheldrick, well done there by Sheldrick on the non-preferred. Wasn't his best ball coming there. In from the side was Godwin. You wonder what the messaging would have been from Coach Matt Rogers. He loses his footing, does Godwin. May have touched it on the ground there. Blacksall, he hand passed to a player who had pressure on him the whole way. Hand pass over the top there from Stannard. That'll be a dangerous tackle, you'd think, to the way of Harper Banfield. And Barmer lets know all about it. There's an advantage that's been taken on further up the ground, and the mark's been taken by the Tigers. Looks like Jacob Key, as we see now panning towards him, the number 32 for Claremont. And well done there by Claremont to take the advantage, recognise that South Fremantle were distracted. Jacob Key can go back and try and add his name to the score sheet. Often been a defender, as I said earlier in the call. First game since round 17. He's in the State 18 squad this year as a bottom ager. Looking to take more steps forward towards his top age season. Curls that back nicely. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. And as they've done in the opening 2 quarters so far, they get one in quick succession out of the break. Really promising prospect is Jacob Key, 190 centimetres, playing this year with Hale in the PSA competition. And adding some strings to his bow with his forward craft as well. $32 points the way of the Tigers. Vanderhoek, in fact it was McAuliffe who went to ground holding the ball. They're showing no signs of slowing down the Tigers. Gallagher, the co-captain. An early goal. Will be disposal number 7. Separation there from Giltro, one of the mainstays throughout the season. 31 disposals and a goal last time these sides met. That's chopped off there by Hammond. And down the line, not going to stay in the field of play. Much to the delight of the Claremont faithful. Dennis will bring it back in. Dennis, just a bit more central than he perhaps intended for. Gallagher sends it inside 50. Blacksell wanted to make obvious that he was being held, and saving the day for now is Foster. Collins fills in the hole. Another turnover the way of the Bulldogs, not helping their cause whatsoever, and a great mark there taken. Could have easily spilled out of the grass there of Cooper Trovarello, but held the mark as he went to ground. And going to be an almighty kick from here. So, Cooper Trovarello comes in. Not the worst looking ball. Fremantle, they just punch it through. 31 points. What does Graham want to do here? Being the kick out recipient today. Low ball, dangerous, has to make it work for South Fremantle. Does potentially now. Godwin goes to ground level. Very dangerous there. They are going to have to take some risks, so part of the plan perhaps for Hudson Graham at a fullback. Appreciate the support of EGT throughout the entire home and away season. Now the final series of the WAFL Colts. Be possible without them here live on the WAFL official YouTube channel. Just held up in centre square. Gonna have to do something about Harper Banfield on the Bulldogs. Put some attention into him if they haven't already done so, but he's just been able to get off the chain. Ram, well done to keep his footing. Wanted to find Sheldrick. Blacksell around the corner. Trovarello's there, he's outnumbered. Hammond with him the whole way. Foster's there, trying to rip it out of the air. Aerial capabilities on display. Not quite. And Gallagher. Vanderhoek in the stationary position, just had to set himself. Goes back now to find Wilson. Wilson shrugged off his opponent through traffic, and that was a nicely weighted kick. Couldn't quite find the target though. Nathan around the corner. Dennis has to be quick with it. Back into the field of play. Banfield, the next link in the chain. Now, Sheldrick, another ball. In fact, it was a player in the form of Grimes. Huxtable goes back with the flight. Hayden knew he had Howard, and the hand pass behind the head was a good one. Howard, he might owe them one after that free kick he gave at this end of the ground, the way of Collins, despite kicking a goal himself, and he can't quite add his second. Brown going short. You can see the South Fremantle players have switched up with where the Claremont players, the non-playing players on the fence there, were in the first half. Foster just dropped the mark. Vanderhoek sends it back in a similar direction. Over the head there of Prentice. as Bush Jones closing in on him. Wanted the boundary line. Hookham, can he kick his third around the corner? He sure can. There's a bit of life back into these Bulldogs. And much like Cam Maynard, it salutes the Bulldogs supporters and non-playing players on the fence there. Hookham kicks his third. And the door slightly ajar for the Bulldogs in this third through Hookham, who kicks his third. Goal number 29 for the year for Sam Hookham. They might need a few more for him, not to put so much pressure, or they might need some more soldiers to come with him. Kicked 3 out of their 5 goals. 26 points, the margin. Wow, Gatlook has gone into the ruck. Moving the magnets around Matt Rogers. Handball from Grimes. And now Williams, he shows his leg speed, but tried to do a bit too much with it in the end, and Foster having other ideas in mind. Holding the ball. And they string together a bit of a purple patch, the Bulldogs. Well done. Just get the handball out from Douglas. Van Hook on the non-preferred. They've got the extra number here, but couldn't quite hit the target. Coming the other way was Brown. He sees it out of bounds. You wonder how much would it have to get to the margin for South Fremantle to be a chance in the last quarter. 26 points. Large chunk of work would have to be done in this quarter, you have to say. Clock continues to run. Here's Collins, puts the afterburners on. Could have kept running. Wanted to kick it, and a bit of an awkward one to judge there, but Parsons chops it off for South Fremantle. Last line of defence is Graham. Weighted ball. Miscommunication between the Tigers there. Will be out of bounds. Van Rooyen back into the field of play. Williams. This time he just gets it forward. Look, good mark taken with player coming in another direction. Short ball, sliding in, had to make sure of it. Douglas. Going to be called to play on. On the far side of the ground. Full stretch went Bush Jones. Collins again. Seems to have a knack of finding the ball naturally. Side 50, you can see Farmer out the back there. Can they get it to him? Wow, Gatlook. Another passage of play he's involved in. Douglas goes to ground, though, has to be quick with it. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Now it's the Tigers this time. Outside of the boot. Was that a throw? It might not matter. Advantage taken. And the Tigers have another one on the board. Wait to see who that came off the boot of in the end. And it looks like Gallagher for his second. The co-captain steps up to the plate. His second in general play. Snap on the left in the first. A banana on the right in the third. Just stayed out of it. Called for it there. And the rest was history. 32 points the way of the Tigers. Whistle coming and have given away a free kick here, the Bulldogs. Banfield. Should be disposal 22 for him. He gives it there to Williams. This time he has another run and carry. Like to see it just because he got caught holding the ball last time. Not shying away from a pursuit this time. Claremont looking for another goal. Key had to play the defensive role on that end. Godwin's going to be hunted down. They clear for now, do South Fremantle, but it might come back. Ball, Dennis just slowed the momentum with the bounce towards the end and boundary line. Result will be the call. Sure, Subiaco and West Perth will be watching on. See who they're versing next week. Looking likely to be South Fremantle for the winner of that game next week. At the moment, got on there by Blacksall, but he's caught hold of the ball as well. Godwin got him. And goes to Parsons. Godwin won it back, he didn't quite. Towards this broadcast side, right in front of us. It's going to be a turnover though. Giltro, he looks back in board. Just applying the fundamentals a bit better, as has been the case. On the end of it, Sheldrick, left foot kick from Sheldrick. Can he squeeze this through? Not quite. Lucky Sheldrick. Thought he could have had his name to the score sheet there. First game since round 18, where he had 25 disposals, 5 marks and 7 tackles, West Swan Districts. Younger brother of Ollie at the club, and of course Angus, who's at the Sydney Swans. Short ball now to Godwin. South Fremantle just trying to find that next link in the chain. Been hard to come by so far today for the second place South Fremantle. Here's Nathan working up the ground through the hands there of Hunt. Hasn't had the service hit up BRF even as a small forward. Giltro around the corner. And Mark not quite taken there by Wilson. They get it off to Sheldrick, they can't. 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 33 points the lead for Claremont. Yet to taste a win over South Fremantle since last year's grand final. But when it matters most, qualifying final, they're the ones on top. Around the corner went Collins, playing in front. Blakeney. Cavalry wasn't quite further afield how you'd like, so this has to settle for Trevorello sideways. Couldn't quite hit the target. Collins has the agility though to make up for it. Handball over the top now to Cooper Edwards. Ram, umpire's not missing that. One of the smallest players in the competition, just stands at 170 centimetres. They've got the number here. Dennis has had to backtrack, then a slight fumble, but does enough in the end. Lowers his eyes, silver service for the Tigers. It's been that way all day. And they are showing why they've been the benchmark of this competition. Blakeney can line up for goal number 3. He's had 3 scoring shots already. And this to make him the Tigers' leading goal scorer for their sake. Blakeney. Multiple looks at the scorers today. Can he work that back right to left? Not quite. So 2 goals, 2 behinds to him. Still though, 37 points in a qualifying final. Worth its weight in gold for Claremont. They're the away side today, but with the league side of things here at River Fitness Stadium, that falls into their favour. Hedge. One of 4 inclusions for the Bulldogs. Cross goal, can they just get a bit of field territory and possession? Parsons received it there from Graham. Good presence there in the air, having the height was Foster. Tom Brown, a tough player to beat. A bit too much on it in the end, floating in there was Dennis. And incorrect disposal, holding the ball, take your pick. It's going to come the other way. Otherwise, Sheldrick was off to the races. Allied. Ball to play on. Versing a few of his Scotch College teammates out there today. Stannard. Can he lower his eyes? Wanted to find Hunt. Here's Maynard. You wouldn't rule it out. But even by his standards, that goes across the face. 1 goal, 1 for Cam Maynard today. Dennis. Older brother Clancy, unfortunately omitted from the Claremont League lineup later today. So Bulldogs send it back inside 50. Here is Dennis, just lost it for a moment, and on the third or fourth juggle, back into his lap. That's not his best ball though, turned over. And Maynard's going to be on the end of it here. So a rare blemish off the boot there of Dennis. And this needs to go through. The right man for the job has it, Cam Maynard. A nice crumbing goal, much to the delight of the South Fremantle representatives on the fence, and straight over the goal umpire's hat. Cam Maynard has a couple, and he looms large, not only in this final series, but the rest of this game if the Bulldogs have any chance of coming back. Critical last 5 minutes coming up here of the third term could really set the tone. We know Claremont is going to have the lead at three-quarter time, but if the Bulldogs can just grab 1 or 2 more, you never know in this competition. Sure, Claremont have the finals experience, but still a lot of players out there in their first finals campaign. 7 premiership players out of the 23 on the ground. And pass there in the path of Sheldrick. Should be a high free kick, was given from the out of zone umpire to Gallagher. One of those premiership players from last year. Sells the candy. Inside 50, they've often been able to respond quickly. Graham denies the chance there. Hudson Graham. Had a bit of talk about him earlier in the account. He actually put him in his top handful of players to watch leading into the under-18s carnival. But not to say he's not lived up to that, but of course we know it's other players can have their chance in the sun when it comes to attention over East, and he's still a very key cog of this Bulldogs outfit. Can they get another one here? Howard off a standing step, mark taken by Coote. Haven't called his name too much today, Sam Coote. Part of a couple of Sams up forward, the key forwards for South Fremantle, hooking with 3. And, well, Sam Coote did kick a bag of 5 last week against Peel Thunder from 17 disposals in that 125-point win. So he's been in some good form, a much tougher opponent with all due respect today. And they need to make every chance count here. Similar distance and angle that Maynard had his last shot on, and not a similar result, unfortunately. So 26 points, the buffer, the way of the Tigers. Call to play on. Hewitt dropping the mark there. Potolano just took his eyes off it, but got it back. Can he make up for it? Wobbly ball up to Brooks. Brooks. He goes short to Williams. His right boot's going to be cut off, but he turns his opponent inside out. Then caresses it nicely to Potolano. This time he sticks the mark. And inboard now. Can they find another one? Claremont. Banfield kicking goal late in the second. Long ball there up towards half forward. Here's Key. Pure strength, one out in the end there. Then a handball to Giltro. Giltro back inboard on the left. A kick in hope more than anything. Coming forward, Huxtable. Should have been a high free kick perhaps for the Bulldogs player. A player grab around his neck. Claremont eager to keep it in, and this time it won't be missed by the umpire. It's going to be Robbie Farmer to take the shot. Kick the first of the day, 47 seconds in from this end of the ground. And you get the feeling this is his bread and butter, Robert Farmer. West Coast Eagles next generation academy player, state 18s squad member as well, despite not playing a game in the under 18s championship. And Alco Cup success with Scotch College this year. He comes around like shelling peas for Robert Farmer. Doesn't need a lot of it to make an impact. 2 goals for him, and they get stuck into Howard there. They kick goals early in quarters, they kick goals late in quarters. And the benchmark that Claremont keeps setting for themselves only grows here in the qualifying final. Back out to 32 points. So that might just about be it for the third quarter, unless they can do anything from here as Van Rooyen slams it out of the ruck, and might be a free kick coming the other way of crossing the line. Could be too little too late though for South Fremantle, unfortunately. So it will have to be a mountain comeback from here. Knows there's not too long left, and as it goes inside 50, the siren sounds here at Revo Fitness Stadium. A 32-point lead for the Tigers. They're one step closer to a matchup with East Fremantle in a semi-final next week. And for South Fremantle, looking like they're going to have to embark on doing it the hard way in season 2026. But still a quarter to play out. Anything is possible. We know the Bulldogs finished top 2 and reached last year's grand final for a reason. So they're going to have to throw everything at the Tigers and come back from 32 points down. A quarter to play in the EGT WAFL Colts qualifying final, live on the WAFL official YouTube channel. 20 minutes left here from Revo Fitness Stadium.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au. Teachers have to deal with a lot.
Especially if there's a few troublemakers, hey Bellas.
Give them a hand by letting WA Football visit your school for a lesson in team building, fair play and fun. Search WA Football to find out more.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
Take it from me, great things happen at the WAFL.
Valentine rides and goals.
With free entry for kids, future stars on the ground, and a kick to kick at every break. The WAFL is where footy memories start and legends are made. Follow the WAFL on socials or get to a game.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
For me, football is more than just a game because football can be anything you make it. It can be for friendship, for fitness and for giving back. It's for all genders and ages. It's for those from the Kimberley to the Great Southern. It's for fun, for extra pocket money or for a lifetime career. Football is for everyone, for history and for connection to your community. Football is for all. Search WA Football to find your local club.
Quarter to play here in the EGT WAFL Colts qualifying final. It's Claremont leading 11-7, 73-2. The Bulldogs 6-5, 41. Appreciate your company here on the WAFL official live YouTube channel. Claremont perhaps already going to be against the Sharks next week. Wait to see what South Fremantle can do in this last quarter, in this final 25 minutes. Half of Anfield with 26 disposals and a goal. Hudson Graham, the leading possession getter for South Fremantle with 16. And Sam Hookham, the leading goal kicker. Both sides with 3 goals. 2 to Blakeney, 2 to Maynard, 2 to Farmer, 2 to Collins. Gallagher with 2 as well. Howard, Bansford, as I said, Key, Van Rooyen, all with singles next to their name. And Matt Rogers, one last message to the Bulldogs. They haven't given up all of today, but the class of Claremont, 11 inclusions, including several from the Star 18 squad and league footy as well, proving too difficult at the stage that we are at. But as we always say, 4 quarters of footy need to be played, and the Bulldogs, there are signs there that they can perhaps come back, but it's going to be an almighty effort here at Robo Fitness Stadium. There's some of the reserves for Perth and East Perth clearing the field. A big league game coming up later today, Claremont and Perth, part of the qualifying final day here at Robo Fitness Stadium. Final 25 minutes to see who meets East Fremantle next week. Van Rooyen in the ruck. Gallagher. Couple of goals next to his name. Foster. Side by side with Banfield. McAuliffe around the corner. Going to have to kick 6 goals. South Fremantle while restricting Claremont at the end. It does seem unlikely, but not impossible. Maynard, listed as a rover today, spending still more time up forward. Here he is with the handball out to Hammond. And they find Hedge. Wants to go the other way. Well done there by the Bulldogs, number 31. Then sends it inside 50 over the head of the attacker and the defender. Backtracking here is Dennis. He lost his footing. Luckily got a kick to it right when he needed to. Williams, fierce tackle applied to him. There by Jarrah Hayden. And stationary there, very casual by Van Rooyen. I think he thought that there wasn't a South Fremantle player allowed to go up in the ruck. Covarello just sees it over. All thrown in, Van Rooyen. Back into the middle, clean pick up there by Wilson. Couldn't have done it any better. Then around the corner, needed to hold the mark, did Hunt. Williams, he loves to turn his opponents inside out. Dangerous kick, but making sure of it in the end of the Tigers. And Portolano takes the mark. His kick is a dangerous one. Luckily, Claremont swoop in, and notably Tom Brown. Handball over the top. No doubt a lot of recruiters looking at Tom Brown. Have to be quick here. Blacksall and sliding in and just waiting for it to come was Godwin in the end. Godwin up towards this broadcast side. Maynard in a one-on-one with Rand. That'll be a high free kick. Maynard up towards the flank. Then Van der Hoek tried to be cute with it. Was the right idea in mind. Here's Nathan. Has the support there of Douglas, and Douglas kicks the goal. Don't rule out these Bulldogs just yet. They get the first of the last quarter. And it's Kobe Douglas on the end of one. That's what they needed. They're going to need plenty more of that though. The red and the white.
Quarter time will move you over. I can't move. At quarter time you can, yeah. Is Ryan on the comms? Yeah, he is. Just let Ryan know that we're here, and he'll agree at quarter time we can move. Okay.
Back in the middle, it's going to be a free kick the way of Lual Gatluk. So momentum for South Fremantle, it's what they're searching for. Would be an incredible comeback victory. Sends it inside 50, sliding in. Desperate stuff there from Brown. Good intercept there. Hookham on the end of it. Just has to settle for the tackle that comes from Blacksall from behind. At the end that they want it to, there's a blood rule. So might be Banfield here who's going to have to come off. So very slow to get off as well. Not sure if this is psychological, but of course it will come off now. Pops a nasty one there to the nose, it looks like. Good place on the field by Giltro. Time on the side of the Tigers. We're back underway though. Van Rooyen off a standing step, only as far as Foster. Two opposing rucks, trying to do everything for their team. They get it out the back. Here is Hunt around the corner, smothered off the boot. Howard, he goes around the corner as well. Got a lot of purchase on it, and the Bulldogs get 2 in a row. This is as best that they've played really for the entirety of the game. Kicks his second at that end of the ground. And it was smothered initially there from Brown. Fell into the lap there of Howard around the corner. And not much Dennis can do about that on the last line of defence. 20 points. Point lead, they've cut it down, have South Fremantle. They're keen to get Banford onto the ground, will Claremont. Still letting possession get it with 27. McAuliffe trying to will his team in that co-captaincy role. Wasn't the required 15. Players come from both directions. Has a second attempt, does McAuliffe. Look, well done, sidestepping. His kick smothered. It's happening very frequently at the moment. Hunt involved in that last play. Sends it inside 50. Can they get a mark here? South Fremantle. Mallard. He can often pull a rabbit out of the hat. Has to settle for a boundary throw-in for now. Bush Jones just pushed underneath it. Mallard, here he is. Maynard's on the end of it. What can he do? Is that a high free kick? It will be. They're pleading that he ducked. Prentice there. And Maynard, well, he made it obvious, but if it's there, it's there. And what are the Bulldogs mustering up here? Could this be their third of the quarter? Under 10 minutes has been played at this last. And Maynard. For his third goal and second at this end. To be the easiest of the set shots, but don't want to put the old commentary curse on him. And I have, unfortunately. So how critical will that be? Would have got it down under 3 goals. Instead it's 19 points. Brown, ambitious in the air. Van der Hoek. Key. Around the corner again, Brown. Mark taken. All their players lifting. Hedge, one of them. Down the line. On the 15-metre ruck. Out the back. Hookham, can he kick a fourth? Desperate stuff there from Brown. What a smother that was. McAuliffe tucked up in the corner. Handball over the top on the end of it. Howard. Could he be an unlikely hero yet again? Boundary throw-in. What about that though from Tom Brown? Could have been a goal-saving smother in the context of this. Worth its weight in gold. A boundary throw-in though. Still in the forward half for South Fremantle. It's what the game could be asking for. Mallard has to be quick with it. He's caught hold of the ball. Had a lot of time to get rid of that one. And guess who? It looks like it's Tom Brown at the bottom of that pack. Stocks lifting here. Going short. Now Foster has to turn the right way. Got it out of the grass there of Brooks. Hunt on his right side for a left footer. Here's Mallard, just has to gather cleanly. It was an unkind bounce. Goes to ground. They can lock it in, won't be the worst result for the Bulldogs. They're under siege here. Claremont's back 6, which we don't often associate to them. 8-point loss in their last game in Albany against Subiaco, which was their 4th loss of the season. A 12-4 record. Bulldogs with 13-3. Maynard, good tackle there. Fed out in the end. Well, that look getting involved. Douglas, and as easy as it is to say, you wonder where this has been for the Bulldogs up until now. But we do know sometimes your best footy can be brought out when you simply have no choice but to go at all costs. Van der Hoek will have to backtrack. Freight, expect him to slam this on the boot, which he does. Again on the border of that 50. Brown, was he held? Dennis. That'll be out of bounds on the full. Foster. Runs his full measure, arcs it back. Bush Jones was down there, Van Rooyen. He picks it off the side of the boot as well. Iltro. And both teams not too disappointed with a boundary throw in. Still clock though in the favour of Claremont. Van Rooyen might have wanted the line again. And Gallagher sees it over. Harper Banfield back onto the ground. Well done there by McAuliffe. He's lifted as long as this game's gone on. Brooks has gone back, so unfamiliar territory for him, leading goal kicker in the PSA competition. 9 goals in 7 games of Colts footy this year. Back in the middle comes Dennis. Dennis. Looks like they haven't gotten out of their back half for a while. Floating in there, well done Brown. Strong in the air. One more goal for Claremont could just about be enough, you'd think. Well done there by Parsons to chop it off. Inside. Hammond can go here if he wants, which he does. Sends it inside 50. Where's Maynard? Going back with the flight. Players slow to their feet. Hookham circles Dennis and couldn't have made it any more obvious than he wanted the boundary line. But umpire says it's okay for a boundary throw-in. Watch the likes of Maynard here. Ram has the job on him at the moment. He'll be the key one at this contest. There's others involved. Gallagher. Ram around the corner. Sheldrick. Back in board. Asks a bit there of Huxtable, who takes the mark. The 2 number 21's going at it. And then Key uses his body positioning well to his advantage. Can take a bounce to the big man. Draws his opponent, goes over the top. Does he want to get it back? That's ignored there by Williams, who's done this a couple of times today. Probably should have given it back to Key in the end. Sheldrick over the top. Trovarello takes the mark, and they could have got out of jail there. Claremont. Trovarello plays on. Has to bypass another Claremont player. And, well, come at the moment, perhaps come of Harry Brooks, who hasn't really got the service he'd been after, albeit playing a variety of positions today. Earlier in the year, would have played a lot more at full forward, and as I said, with Christchurch in the PSA, he averaged 3 goals a game to be the premier forward of that competition. And you take that individual success into a final series with Claremont. Comes in. Does it work back? Not quite. So an even 20 points the margin. 10 minutes to play. Running a long way, it was Graham in the end. Not his best ball. All good one there for Sheldrick to trap. And every second off the clock worth its weight in gold for this Claremont outfit. Good crowd building in here. WAFL finals footy, no matter the level. Colts Reserves League. Exciting time of year. And September's just around the corner. It's the first week of the finals all round. Starting here with the EGT WAFL Colts. Van Rooyen, Douglas. Collins. His kick just in the nick of time. Good mark there from Trovarello. It's been a key feature of his game today. Too far out to score. And they get the final nail in the coffin. The Tigers. Out the back is Edwards. Didn't quite sit for him. And boundary line there. He hits the behind post. Otherwise, Farmer was off. And Claremont, can they do what South Fremantle couldn't quite do and make the most of some stoppages inside their 50, albeit a couple of goals back the way of South Fremantle before that. Well done, Godwin. Going back with the flight. They lost their footing though. Here's a chance for Coote to swoop in. Paddles it to the advantage there of Maynard. Just a fumble by his lofty standards, which we don't often see. Pressure comes. Ram has the Shepherd applied for him as well and goes short to Williams. Williams, interesting decision, but Hewitt. And then the overlap run of Huxtable. Does he want to take it on? He was sort of caught in two minds. Just puts it in the path of Trovarello. Not quite a marking attempt. And full ball didn't go out in the end. In fact, it did. Would have done eventually, so. 4 goals needed for South Fremantle, under 8 minutes. Does seem a stretch. Especially with the clock continuing to run. Getting creative there was Williams. Off to Gallagher. Brooks is going to run and jump at this one. Howard. Now to Godwin, who's had to gather cleanly. It's all or nothing now for South Fremantle. Here's Maynard again. He's got the leg speed over his State 18's teammate in Dennis. Can he keep it in front? Maynard along the ground. Tied legs out there for him. And Pozzolano can go short. Huxtable was occupying this broadcast side wing well in this last quarter. Goes to Hewitt and the number 49. Spot up another target on the far side. Dennis, often the general for Claremont in the last line of defence. And Williams again. You hear the calls of go. Just looking to control the tempo. They may not need to score another goal, but they might want to just to make sure of it. Good fist there by Parsons, giving up a lot of size. And it's Harry Brooks. Is that a free kick? And Bush Jones can't believe his luck. Well, Harry Brooks, in fact, it's not a free kick to him. It might be a free kick to Banfield, perhaps. That would be fitting, perhaps, that Harbour Banfield would have the final say in this one. 27 disposals, a goal. Went off for a blood rule, so his time in the last quarter being restricted a little bit. But this to put the full exclamation mark on. A great individual performance. And can't quite nail it. End to end for the Bulldogs now. Down the middle they go, through the hands there of Nathan Blacksell. Good return from him for his first Colts game since round 3. Saw it there on the ground, might have been Brooks. McAuliffe, and now Wilson back in his left side. Vanderhook, and now Godwin has to be quick with it. Inside 50, trying to get some separation out the back. Does it sit there for Hunt? Not quite. And it's been an almost day, you could say, for South Fremantle, particularly the second half and the fourth quarter. They're going to win the quarter, you think, which is some good momentum heading into next week nonetheless, but might be too little too late. Nathan hunts. There's a whistle. It's going to go the way of Nathan. Has to be quick with it. It was a holding of the arms or wraparound, said the umpire. And Nathan can't afford to make a mistake here. So Elijah Nathan kicked 3 goals in the opening quarter last time their sides met on this ground back in round 14. Hasn't quite had the day like that here. And he's kicked the goal, so a glimmer of hope. They need 3 goals in 3 minutes for the Bulldogs. Clock continues to run, so we'll be under that by the time this is balled up again. But nonetheless, some real positive signs heading into next week, and sort of a double-edged sword for Matt Rogers' side. You do think, where was this earlier in the game? Although Claremont, of course, probably tiring a bit, doing a bulk of their work early. But then nonetheless, the way you finish the game can often be very crucial to the way you start the next. And they can't pull a miracle out here. They'll be facing either Subiaco or West Perth next week, depending on who wins tomorrow's elimination final. So about 2.5 minutes. 3 goals needed. Been a brave fight back from the Dogs. And if you're Claremont, you're just holding this in if you can. Van Rooyen keen to chew some seconds off the clock at ground level. Foster. Has to put this on the boot. And great mark there taken. Come out wide. They know they've done enough now. Claremont. Graham. Good read off the pack. Vanderhook into Godwin. Has to be quick with it. Around the corner. Can they get a consolation prize late, the Bulldogs, with 1:30 on the clock? McAuliffe would like to think so. Coming in, Howard. Can he get out the back? Hookham's going to kick number 4. And they're going to get this ball back into the hands of the umpire. Gee, the scoreline might not reflect how this game was played out, but credit to Hookham, who could have been a bigger loss for them if he wasn't out there, to say the least. 4 goals for him, takes him up to 30 for the year, which now is the only player to do so in the EGT WAFL Colts. Of course, Trent Robertson, Cooper Dudfield not playing a part in the final series for Peel Thunder and Swan Districts respectively. .40 seconds left. In many ways a frustrating finish for South Fremantle, despite, because they've left it too late, but can't take away from what they've done. They've made a game of it in the end. McAuliffe, can he get it on the boot? Hedge. They could get one last one. This could be a goal perhaps, and Maynard can't quite save it, so that'll be it, you'd think. It's going to be an 8-point win to Claremont. Doesn't really reflect how the game was played out. They were up by as much as 37 points, but they'll be the ones who rectify this game last year where they had to do it the hard way. They still might have to, as East Fremantle away, but they're one step closer to another grand final. They win the qualifying final of the EGT WAFL Colts by 8 points, and we're up by more than 6 goals at one stage. They win the 3 quarters, they win the game. South Fremantle close it out late to get it under double digits in the end, but as I said, too little too late for them. they'll have to do it the hard way. They'll face the winner of Subiaco and West Perth, which takes place tomorrow at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Full time here from Remo Fitness Stadium. The Bulldogs 10-7-67 go down to Claremont 11-9-75. In the end, the Bulldogs lose their first game of the year to Claremont, who lost the 2 games in round 3 and round 14. They turn around here to kickstart the final series. 2 goals to Blakeney, 2 to Collins, multiple goals as well to Farmer, Gallagher. Banfield was just about best on ground with 28 disposals and a goal. Benji Van Rooyen and Jacob Key, the other goal kickers for Claremont. While for South Fremantle, the returning forward, Sam Hookham kicked a bag of 4. Howard with 2. Likewise, Maynard providing a spark as he always does. Douglas and Nathan, the other goal kickers. As I said, Harper Banfield with 28 disposals. And Chase Vandal, the other player to get 20 plus disposals as well. Continue his ball-winning ability in season 2026, the second leading disposal winner coming into the finals series. As the players shake hands, who knows? They could meet again later in the final series of the EGT WAFL Colts. And both teams playing out right to the final siren in the end. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the elimination final live here on the WAFL official YouTube channel. I'll be on the call for that one. And that's a sudden death final, so no double chance like we saw today. Subiaco coming up against West Perth. These sides have had some tremendous battles themselves in final series. Think back to 2023 and West Perth making the final series multiple times every year, in fact, since 2019 of the EGT WAFL Colts. So that's in store for us here tomorrow. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the footy here from Revo Fitness Stadium. As we sign off here from Revo Fitness Stadium, as I said, Ethan Roth is my name, and we'll catch you tomorrow for the elimination final. It's the Tigers who will meet the Sharks next week, and it's South Fremantle who will play at the winner of tomorrow's game. We'll catch you then from Fremantle Community Bank Oval.